Hey there, Synthrones. Today we're going to be talking about analog synth prices. From just a year ago, they've gone up 5% according to reverb.com. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone. This is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures, and further your adventures over at pureambientdrone.com. It's the place to be to connect with me. So this is a reverb.com email that I'm sure many of you guys have received. And I got this one here like a few days ago. And it's talking about the analog synth market being 5% higher, than last year. So what they're telling us is that their algorithms, their data shows that prices have gone up. So I want to take a look at some of these synthesizers here today and give you my viewpoints on it, because some of them I own or have owned as well. So let's scroll down here and let's look at their first item here. 10% extra this year has gone up for the Roland Juno 106. Now, I have owned a Roland Juno 106, and I can't say anything bad about it. It's a great synthesizer. Now, I know by looking at some of these prices that these things have gone up somewhere in the range of $1,500, and sometimes they're not even serviced at that price, okay? Now, I paid about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, about $1,200 for a Roland Juno 106 that was completely serviced and in perfect working condition. Today, something like that can run you almost $2,000. Now, what my concern is as a synth enthusiast is that there are so many other great choices out there that a person can pick from that absolutely can blow away a Roland Juno 106. Now, I know I'm going to get comments on that. There's nothing like a Roland Juno 106. It's a one of a kind. And I will give you that argument. That's a fair argument. I mean, come on. Every synthesizer ever designed in the history of synthesizers is really a one-of-a-kind make, all right? So, yeah, I mean, I'll accept that argument. However, there's a lot of alternatives out there now that if you just don't need an absolute replica of the Juno 106 sounds, I would say anything over $1,200 for one of these is way too much money. Walk away. Walk away. Now, I recently purchased a System 8, and of course, it has the Juno 106 plug out in it. Having owned a Juno 106 in the past and currently the owner of a Juno 2, I can tell you that the System 8 really comes close to the sound of the Junos. In fact, it's even better in some ways because it has lots of built-in effects. It has an arpeggiator and it has a sequencer in it as well. So I really like the System 8. And now, aside from all those other things that you have with the System 8, you also have other plug-outs available. Okay, so you're not just stuck with the Juno 106. You can add the System 1 into that mix, the Jupiter, and so on and so on. So you're getting a lot more money. Now, why am I comparing the Juno 106 to the System 8? Because I think that the System 8 is a fair comparison on the market, and you can get it cheaper used than a Roland Juno 106. It's a bigger bang for the buck. Okay, now let's look at the Korg Volca keys. Now, I'm currently not in the market for one of these, and I used to own one of those, but Reverb is showing that it's at a 9% rise from just a year ago. And it could just be that these things are becoming more and more scarce as Korg moves into other product lines. Okay. For me, the Korg Volca keys didn't offer enough to keep it here in my studio. However, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great, fantastic sounding synthesizer, especially for the money. But I think the prices were running at about $95 to $119 last year. Anything more than that on a used Korg Volca keys I wouldn't pay that, and I'll tell you why. Most of these things are used and abused and then sold. If you could get one that's in really good shape, I would say that that would be a fair price anyway, because there's just not a whole lot there. Once you get into, I would say above $200, you're looking into Behringer stuff, which down here is the Behringer Model D they're showing here at a minus 11% from a year ago. Now, I can tell you exactly why this is happening, in my opinion at least, and that's because the Poly D is coming out from Behringer sometime this year. I don't even know if it's already been released in some countries yet, if someone else is, if other countries have had their hands on it already. But this is what people are anticipating. So Behringer has made a Poly D that's only about maybe 2.5 times the price of the Model D, which is a mono synth. Okay, well, they're both mono synths, okay, but the Poly D has a capability of playing up to 4 notes simultaneously. But with that being said, Behringer's competing with itself on this, and so of course the market is going to drop on the Model D. Plus, I heard through the grapevine, or whatever you want to call it on the internet, I read here and there, that there was some tuning problems with the Model D. I had a Model D some years ago, or exactly when they first came out, actually. I loved it. And yes, it did seem like it had some tuning problems. Maybe it needed a little extra time to warm up. I'm not exactly sure. But I kind of liked that about the Model D from Behringer. It was kind of quirky, and I kind of enjoyed it. But I'm not much of a mono synth kind of guy, so I went ahead and I sold that, especially because, you know, I like presets. I like being able to sell things. That's just me. That's just my opinion. So they got a buying guide here. Oh, never mind. Skip that. Most popular under $500. This is interesting. The Korg Mini Log. Here is something that Korg has done that Behringer also did, is compete with themselves. Because the Korg Mini Log XD came out, okay, you're going to see that there's going to have to be a big price difference in the Korg Mini Log on the used market. What that is, I really don't know at this point. Their number 2 popular synthesizer is the Moog Mother 32. I used to own 3 of these, actually. Very great sounding synthesizer. Why I bought it, I don't know, because what I said earlier is I am not a monophonic synth kind of guy. But that doesn't mean just because Behringer is competing with themselves that the Model D can't come in as number 3 as one of the most popular synthesizers from the used market under $500. And then Korg Volca comes in number 4. So just to recap, you're looking at the Korg Mini Log, the Mother 32, and the Behringer Model D, and the Korg Volca keys. So the most popular over $500, okay, is the Roland Juno 106. Remember, we're talking about analog synthesizers. And I really don't know, I don't know why people are grabbing up this Roland Juno 106 unless they're just afraid that the world's going to run out of them. Because a lot of people, after they've experienced them, they end up selling them anyway, because there's so much other great stuff on the market today that when you sell one of these for around $1,500 to $2,000, again, you're going to be able to replace it with something that is more capable. But that's just my opinion. Coming in at number 2 for the most popular synthesizers over $500 is the Korg Mini Log XD. Never owned one of these. Okay, I did own the Mini Log, and I really did like it. 4-note capacity, polyphonic there. And this one here is a hybrid. So you got some analog and you got some digital mixed in there. I think it sounds the best out of the two, but I've never owned one. I'm just going by what I've heard. Another one that's over $500 that's popular is the Dreadbox Medusa. This is a pretty interesting synthesizer. Again, I've never owned one of those, but it seems to be catching on. I think it might have had a great start out the gate, kind of slipped down a little bit under people's radar as other synthesizers came out on the market. But I think now on the used market, people have been waiting for it to come down in price, and so they're snatching them up. This is pretty cool because the next one is number 4, Behringer DeepMind 12. I've always talked about the DeepMind 12. Basically, the Behringer DeepMind period is a great synthesizer, and I believe it's the best synthesizer ever produced by Behringer to date, okay, of this video recording. That's what I think. So that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys here today. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's talk about this. Tell me what you guys think should be on this list. Now, remember, this is data collected from Reverb. I mean, you know, they know the market for their customers because synthesizers are being sold and they're keeping track of this, so they know the numbers. But what do you guys think about all of this? Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and until next time, and above all, keep calm and synth on.